Thirsty on the east side of town? Well, head to a WNST favorite, King Discount Liquors on Pulaski Highway, just inside the Beltway. They have it all.
I'm Johnny Beth down at King Liquors. Come and see me for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer.
Don't forget to give the King a ring.
I'm trying to think right on my brain on who we're talking about, but we brought up Howard. We were talking about the enormity. It might have been Len Pasquarelli. I think it was, in fact. We were talking about how this thing has blown up. This game has blown up now, where it's this. It's
right.
I'm walking down the street, going back to my hotel. ESPN's set up out in the street.
Sure.
The streets are all blocked off. What would Howard say about all this? Like the way it's. Because it's right up his alley,
He would probably say there were way too many former players talking about the game.
What do they know, right?
That's right.
But it strikes me that he'd be perfect up here on the NFL Network. Like he'd love that. Have himself a little plastic glass of something. Go up there and have a seat.
I think we could say that Radio Row, he'd probably be in his element.
Yeah, no question about that.
I don't think that'd be a bad thing to say.
Greg Cosell hanging out with us here on Radio Rows. We're talking about Super Bowl 42. And Greg says Giants. Greg says Giants are going to beat the Patriots. And, of course, the game coming up on Sunday here out in Phoenix. It's funny, when we first started, you said, I think this is a really neat Super Bowl city.
Right.
One of the things we talked about yesterday was the Pittsburghs of the world, the Green Bays, the tried and true, the blue collar. You could throw in there Baltimore if you wanted. The tried and true Philadelphia. The nuts and bolts blue collar cities. It's kind of a shame the Super Bowl doesn't get there occasionally. To really bring the game back to its root. Like Miami last year seemed to me, like I don't know, we forgot the game was going on.
Well, I think it becomes percentages. I mean, we saw the Giants in Green Bay play in 25 below weather 2 weeks ago. Okay, it turned out to be a great game. But rarely, when weather is a real factor, as it can be if you're playing in a northern city, does the game wind up being a great game where the players compete at the highest level of their athleticism. And I know, the way I feel as a fan, I'm not one of those who likes to see a game in pouring rain or snow. I want to see the players perform at the highest level. And I think ultimately that's what the issue is. I mean, it would be kind of cool from a traditional standpoint, but I don't think anybody really wants a game in Baltimore or Philadelphia or Foxborough when weather is a real factor.
410-481-1570, Drew at WNST.net. Looks like the deal for Johan Santana, by the way, is done. Could that affect this Eric Bedard trade going from Baltimore to Seattle? We'll have to wait and see, but the Mets evidently sending 4 prospects to the Twins for Santana. He has to pass a physical and work out an extension with the Mets, which they've got plenty of money. They'll be able to afford it, right?
I would think so.
I think they're going to be able to handle it.
They have probably pretty good local TV radio deals in New York.
You think?
Yeah.
It's funny, too, because we always talk about that with the baseball team. I mean, you've got the Yankees, you've got Boston in our division. The Orioles can't compete, haven't competed. A lot of teams, Oakland and some of these other small market teams have competed, but they've competed in divisions other than the American League East. I mean, to segue to baseball for a second, baseball has wrecked some of these franchises.
Well, it's funny you talk about, too, because obviously I know about the Orioles and Bedard. Rarely when a team trades an ace, do they ever find another ace like that? Mm-hmm. I mean, historically, that's sort of been the case. I mean, again, I don't know. I follow baseball, probably don't know it the way I know football, but it just seems to me when you get rid of an ace, it's really hard to just replace that guy.
Well, number one, they're hard to come by.
Yeah, exactly.
They're hard enough to find, let alone.
Before Bedard got hurt, he was almost unhittable. For about, 10 starts there?
He was Cy Youngable last year.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't. He would have wound up. He went 14-8, 3, whatever it was, 3.
But his last 10 or 11 starts were
phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then he got the oblique strain.
Right.
And that was the end of the road.
Oh, that was not viewed as a real injury?
I don't know.
I'm not going there.
All of a sudden.
I'm not going there.
Yeah, all of a sudden. Well, they had a lot of oblique strains last year in Baltimore. We never did figure out.
Maybe it was something in the water.
I don't know what happened. Hey, enjoyed it. Have yourself a great week. And I'm sure we'll see you buzzing around.
I'll be around. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Greg. Good seeing you. Greg Cosell with us here for a couple